Hey everybody, today is May 7th and today we want to talk about the price of Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about whether I think we're going to see a breakout soon or whether I think we're going to continue to consolidate within this Fibonacci channel and perhaps move lower. Before we begin, please read the disclaimer and you can pause this video as you read it. Okay, so in our last video, we talked about how Bitcoin has basically been consolidating within this Fibonacci channel for a while, right? And we talked about how Fibonacci levels tend to act as strong support and resistance level, and the price tends to, after making a strong impulse move, it tends to consolidate for a while, right, before making the next move. And these Fibonacci levels, they can act as strong resistance level like we had here and over here, but the price can also trend within the channel like we had over here. And as long as we hold this support level, we will increase the probability of the price continuing higher, right? We also consolidated within this channel here and within the channel over here. And most recently, over the past 2 to 3 months, we've basically been consolidating within this Fibonacci channel, right? We came down here, found some support level here, and we also found support at this Fibonacci channel support level. So we're basically bouncing off this level, right? And we also talked about how moving averages, which are these 3 lines, they can also act as support and resistance levels. So I like to use them together, but most recently we actually broke this support level. I talked about the importance of holding these support levels, right? This 50-day simple moving average, this silver line, since we broke out from October, the price action has either stayed above the short-term moving average, the silver line, 50-day simple moving average, or when we came down, we found strong support and bounced off that line right here and over here. Now, what happened was in mid-April, we failed to hold this support level for the first time in like 6 months. And so we saw a strong correction down to the midterm simple moving average, which is our 100-day simple moving average, which is this gold line. But we found support here, confluence support along with this Fibonacci channel, right? So our moving average and the Fibonacci support level here. So 2 levels of support gave me strong conviction that the market was going to bounce higher. And that's exactly what happened, right? Same thing happened here in the past when we had the 50-day and the Fibonacci support level here converge, and that gave me more conviction that this was going to be a strong short-term bottom, and then ended up turning into a mid to long-term bottom as well as the price recovered and continued higher, right? Now, the question is the price going to continue higher, or are we going to continue to move sideways? And I think that as long as we stay above this 50-day simple moving average line, I think that the probability is higher that we're going to continue higher, right? And the reason is that when we failed to hold support over here, we flipped this 50-day simple moving average into resistance. And that's the reason why, even though we had a strong bounce here, we found it difficult to stay above the 50-day simple moving average line, which is hard to see, but I'm gonna draw the line so you have a better idea of where the 50-day simple moving average is, right? So right now the price is above, but the past couple of days we found it hard to find support above this level, to break above this resistance level. So we did come down a couple days ago, but we found strong buyers came in and pushed the price back up. So right now we are above the 50-day simple moving average, which is really good. This is very positive, and the bulls are fighting to keep Bitcoin above this line. And as long as we stay above this line, I do believe Bitcoin will have a higher chance of continuing higher and trying to break our next resistance level, which is this Fibonacci resistance area over here, which we were rejected from over here, and most recently over here, right? We actually poked our head above here, but we were rejected, strong rejection down to the Fibonacci support level. So we came pretty much all the range of this Fibonacci channel. So another thing I want to talk about is just expanding on what we talked about in our last video, which is the reaccumulation period, right? So Bitcoin tends to have these similar price action where it makes strong impulse moves up, and then it consolidates for a while, going sideways, right? Taking a break, right? And this is something that's very common among different many years of the Bitcoin market cycle, right? We have this strong move up in the bull market, then we have the bear market, and then Bitcoin finds the bottom, consolidates for a while before breaking up higher. And then we have these periods where after each impulse move higher, we have periods where it goes sideways here and also over here. And of course in 2013, all these pullbacks, all these dips, Bitcoin went sideways. These were like couple weeks, right? And as we get more parabolic into the bull market, the end of the bull market, we just go straight up until we have a blow off top, and then we crash into the bear market, right? So this cycle has been repeating a couple of times over the last decade, 2013, 2014, 15, and most recently 2016, 2017, 2018, right? And right now we're in the middle of this bull market move, in my opinion. And we're basically in what 2021, I think, is the 2017 and the 2013 this time, right? Similar move up. And what happens is Bitcoin, it doesn't just go straight up, right? It makes these impulse moves and then it goes sideways for a while. So these sideways movements, what I talked about in our last video, what we call them reaccumulation periods, right? The accumulation period is when we bottom out during the bear market, right? 2015 was mostly an accumulation period. And the end of 2018 here, and of course, the coronavirus pandemic crashed the market. These were accumulation periods. But these periods where the Bitcoin, after it makes these impulse moves and it goes sideways, these are our reaccumulation periods. These are opportunities that you can add to your position, or if you failed to get in at these low prices, you can also get in here before the next breakout move higher, right? So I think right now, in our last video, I made the argument that right now, this sideways action that we're seeing in Bitcoin for the last 3 months, this, in my opinion, is a reaccumulation. And I do think that Bitcoin will likely continue higher, right? The fact that we are finding strong support, despite the fact that the bears are trying to push the price down more, and even making a small higher low is a good thing, right? Now, what I want to see is for Bitcoin to make a higher high now, a higher high than his, which means that I want us to make a strong break above this Fibonacci resistance level. Perhaps come down, retest this, flip it to support, right, and push it up higher, right? When we flip resistance to support, like we did over here, like we did most recently over here, right, coming down, flip this resistance to support, go up higher, resistance over here, come down, retest, flip it to support, and we push up higher. And right now, we're turning this Fibonacci support level into strong support, a strong floor. So if any bears try to bring this down, then this should be a strong push up higher, right? This price action, another thing I want to talk about, how we've been basically going sideways for 3 months now, right? And I do think that this price action is looking very similar to what we saw in May, June, and July of last year, right over here, where we went sideways. Again, resistance along this Fibonacci resistance level, right? We went sideways for 3 months, and near the end of the 3rd month, we've had the nice breakout to the top, right? Again, another resistance level among this Fibonacci level. But when we came down, we basically went sideways within the channel, right? And another thing to notice, by the way, is that if you look at the moving averages tend to converge, right, before the breakout, right? This line, the 50-day here, and also the gold line over here, the 100-day simple moving average. And what this does is it creates a lot of tension, a lot of pressure on the price action, right? So the price action is going sideways, the volatility is very low, but these moving averages are converging, and they're going to squeeze the price either in the upward or the downward direction. In this case, we end up breaking in the upward direction, right? Same thing happened over here, right? After this failed to hold because of this Fibonacci resistance level, we came down hard, but these moving averages acted as strong support. See how it bounced off this gold line? But then at the same time, the silver line, the 50-day simple moving average, this line came down hard and converged with this gold line right around here. And when before they met together, it created a lot of tension, just like we had over here, right? And this also squeezed the price higher, right? And so right now, we're getting to a point where we're having similar movement within the moving averages, where these moving averages are starting to come together very soon, right? Eventually, these moving averages are going to cross or come close to crossing. And if Bitcoin, I think that the price will eventually, like we did the last 2 times in late July and also October, which was the start of this massive rally, right? Since last October, I think that these moving averages was going to squeeze the price of Bitcoin in either direction, right? Right now, because Bitcoin is above this line, I am more biased towards the upward direction, right? I just feel like everything in the price action right now is telling me that, from my own experience, that this price is likely going to go up higher, right? Because what happens in a sideways price action? In sideways price action, you have bears trying to bring the price down, right? And when it comes to this support level, the bears, they get like really greedy and they're trying to push this price down. But what happens is that over here, right? People, I mean, look at this. I guarantee you, there were a lot of people trying to short this, right? They saw Bitcoin's going sideways. This whole rally was a fake out. This thing's gonna roll over and come down. But what happens? People enter their leverage short positions. They get wiped out, and then you see this huge short squeeze, right? Because remember, when you short a market, your loss, your risk is unlimited theoretically, right? And so people, they have to get out. They're panicking, and they want to get out their short position as the price explodes higher, right? And they're losing a lot of money. Same thing over here. Like people probably were shorting over here, thinking that this thing was going to come down lower. But as these moving averages came together and the volatility was very low, and we just squeezed higher and pushed up higher, and we had this massive rally, right? I think a similar thing is going to happen here. I think a lot of people are thinking that this thing, oh, lower high, right? This thing's going to roll over and continue down lower, right? But no, I think that a lot of people who are shorting this market, especially with leverage, and we all know how popular futures trading is with Bitcoin, right? A lot of leverage in those markets. I think that people are going to get short squeezed, and this thing is going to push up higher, right? To what point? To what price? Like I said in many of my previous videos, I think the next resistance level if we have a nice impulse move up, right, is around 80,000. And the reason is that since we broke this resistance level of our previous all-time high set in 2017, which was around 20,000 as well, every impulse move higher has been roughly $20,000 move, right, up to 40,000, and then correction, and then up to 60,000, right? And of course, we had this long consolidation period, which I talked about is also similar to reaccumulation that we had in the past. Obviously, we can't call it reaccumulation. Reaccumulation is done in retrospect, right? So we need to see a continuation, an impulse move up, and then we can say this is reaccumulation because that's done in retrospect. What I'm trying to speculate here is that this could be reaccumulation like we saw in the past, right? When Bitcoin went sideways after these impulse moves up higher, right? So I do think that right now, this reaccumulation period is very close to breaking for these very reasons which I just stated, right? The fact that we've been going sideways for about 3 months like we did last May to August, and the fact that these moving averages are converging together, and when they converge together, it creates a lot of pressure, and Bitcoin will likely squeeze in either one. It has to choose whether it wants to squeeze up or down. I think that the probability at this point with this price action and with the historical price action, I think that the probability is that Bitcoin will continue to squeeze higher, and probably to our next impulse move, which every $20,000 increment we tend to face resistance. I think the next logical resistance level after we squeeze and make an impulse move up is 80,000. And of course, after 80,000, it's going to be that big psychological number, which is 100,000. So that's it for Bitcoin in the short to medium term. Obviously, I'm very bullish on the long term. And the rest of the year, I do think Bitcoin will eventually hit $100,000. The question is, where is the path that will take us $100,000? Because obviously the market isn't going to go straight up, right? So just to summarize, short to medium term, I am bullish on Bitcoin as long as we stay above this line, the 50-day simple moving average, right? As long as we stay above this line, historically, Bitcoin has continued on higher, right? We had, just to summarize again, we failed to hold support here, but we recovered fairly quickly, and now we're above the 50-day again, right? So hopefully we can flip this resistance level now to support, and we can continue higher and break through our next resistance level, which is Fibonacci resistance level of the channel, which is around 63,000, right? And once we break that, I do think Bitcoin will make a strong move up to $80,000, right? And this, in retrospect, will be a reaccumulation period like we have in the past market cycles, right? And really just, if you look at the longer term, these long-term reaccumulation periods, it does look like the price action is following similar price action of the past. Obviously not exactly, but like history doesn't always follow, but it does rhyme, right? That's the famous saying. So just really quickly, looking at the dollar coming down pretty hard, and that's just going to add more fuel to Bitcoin going up, right? We saw this many times in previous videos that during years where Bitcoin had a bear market, the dollar was strong, like in 2018, right? And 2014, look at this huge spike. 2014, 2015, huge spike in the dollar. 2018, 2019, right? Bitcoin either came down hard or went sideways those years. But the years that Bitcoin had a strong bull market, right? 2013, see the dollar count. Let me draw this. See the dollar coming down hard at the end of 2013. Well, we had a huge spike in Bitcoin in 2013, right? Same thing, 2017, huge downtrend in the dollar. We had a bull market in 2017, and right now the dollar seems to be coming down pretty hard. So if the dollar does continue down lower and break this multi-year floor, right, if we do come down and continue our downtrend, I do expect Bitcoin to rip up higher, right? Just to go over that stuff again, 2017, of course, going up higher, 2013 going up higher with the dollar coming down, and dollar strength in 2014, 2015, bear market, right? Dollar strength in 2018, 2019, bear market here, sideways price action, right? Creating a price ceiling for us that is difficult for the price of Bitcoin to go up. But the fact that the dollar is starting to come down hard now, and this was a worry earlier this year that the dollar strength was putting a lot of downward pressure on Bitcoin, right? Or at least keeping it from going up a lot higher, creating a ceiling, right? Now that the dollar is starting to come down, pretty strong. It gives me more confidence and more conviction that we're going to break up above and go up to my next price target of $80,000 and beyond that to $100,000 in our next, if we're able to break through that $80,000 resistance. So overall, looking very bullish, looking very optimistic on Bitcoin. Of course, I've said this many times, but I'll say it again. As long as we hold above the 50-day simple moving average, right? As long as we hold above this level, I expect Bitcoin to continue higher. So, yeah, good luck for everybody on their trades, and yeah, we'll definitely update you on next week and see how this price action develops going forward. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, informative, helpful, please like this video, leave a comment below, and subscribe for updates. I appreciate your support, and thanks again, and have a great day.